share my thoughts and insights, almost like my journaling. This is just a video blog. I think they used to call it blogging when it started. Anyone still have no vlogging? Sorry, video blog, right? Anyone still have a blog out there? I think this could be a blog. If you're frequent on it, I'm looking to add some routine and some systems, and not only for me but also share it for you guys. Market Mondays, look at the economy and the real estate market, specifically hyper local, but also nationally. And then Wednesdays is Wealthy Wednesdays. Let's rock and roll. As a coach and as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, I spend a lot of time interviewing people, listening to podcasts, studying money, reading books. And with that, it's to be able to make the best decisions for myself as an entrepreneur, for my family, and building that legacy. And if I can share some of this stuff with you and what some of my notes are through here, then I think it's a good day. So if you're here and you're watching it, thanks for joining me. I don't want to take a lot of your time. Every Friday, the president of our company, Keller Williams, has his name is Mark King, and for 20 years he's been doing very similar, which is Wealthy Fridays, and just talks about what he's studying. So I straight up asked him last week, I was like, so can I go on your Friday call, rip off and duplicate and interpret it and regurgitate it here? And it was yes, of course. He shared some stats and a couple links, and one is I'm going to post it right here in the comments. It's a link to a YouTube video of why Americans are so stressed out about money. I think we're seeing it a lot right now, feeling it. Prices. But I was at dinner with my family last week, and we're at the ale house, and chicken wings for 12 of them was $18. And when you add that with a drink and a tax and a tip and a side, man, we're $30 for some wings. Things are expensive. We're stressed. And school's expensive, and everything's expensive. So the crunch is here. The season of spending is here. If you're in real estate, then we're also hitting the lull. The interest rates have impacted a little bit of income, and deals aren't sticking together. I want to be with you here to say, take a look at that video I put in the link of the insight of why Americans are so stressed. It's done by CNBC, and see how it relates to you. Some stats that was shared around that is the correlation between money and mental health. And it's the number one cause around divorce. It is the number one cause around mental health. And it says 28% of Americans worry about money on a daily basis. 28%. 42% of adults say money negatively impacts them on a daily basis in terms of their mental health or their mindset. And you can't afford your current lifestyle. And a lot of people, I think, are spending more than they are earning. Now, whose problem is that? I think it's choices that led up. I think it's crept in. I think it's when we look at the amount of student loans that are still there, or medical, or just habits, right? So what we're looking to do is going, and Mark shared a golden rule to wealth, and I'm just referencing my notes, so I keep looking down. The golden rule to wealth is wealthy people get paid interest, and the opposite pay interest. If you're paying interest, hopefully you're paying interest on something that's at least making more money. It's an appreciating asset. Two ways it makes money: via cash flow or via appreciation. So what is your cash flow? And if you are paying interest and you are losing, so credit cards, clothes, vacations, student loans, that's paying interest, yet it's not giving you that dividend in return, then we have to say, get rid of that. So there's two kind of financial gurus. There's many, but the financial gurus I'm reference now, and both have solid principles. So one is Dave Ramsey, and the other one is Robert Kiyosaki. Dave Ramsey is Financial Peace University, has a show, debt free scream, yeah, I'm debt free. And I think it's really great, solid principles that aren't for everybody, but they are for most. Then you got Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad Poor Dad and Cash Flow Quadrant, and talk about how you want to invest in real estate and leverage your money. And it's a little bit opposite, but not really. And so where I'd share with you, and this can be my tidbit or nugget for the Wednesday here, is look at your net worth. And your net worth is your personal balance sheet. If you look at your personal balance sheet, that's if you added up everything that you could sell in 24 hours. So in 24 hours, you sell it all. What is it worth if you could sell it in 24 hours? That's what liquidity you would have. we're not looking at everything. We're looking at the kind of the big ticket items, right? And then you say, what are my debts? So if my house is worth 700,000 and I owe 400,000, it gives me a net worth of 300,000. Look at your car, look at your cash, look at all of that. Do your net worth snapshot about once a month, and it'll tell you where you're doing. There's a game I used to love playing. It's a game of life. Remember that? You'd spin the wheel and have 1 through 10, and stop, and you would just take your little car, and life would tell you what you got. Married, kids, job, fired, flood, lottery, life just was handed to you. And at the end of that game, and at the end of the game of life, you won by making it to the retirement. What is retirement? Retirement is, I believe, when we have enough money to outlive us, or so we think. And we're getting that money via pension, via Social Security, via investments, via just a great big piggy bank, like Scrooge McDuck, not Scrooge, yeah, Scrooge McDuck. He just swims in his piggy bank vault, and you're like, well, I hope I outlive my money. And that will work until it doesn't. Right? That'll work until something hijacks you. So we got to figure out a way of how we can shift our earning from active income to passive income. We'll talk about this on a future episode as a flow chart of money and how we can look at that with a war chest. It's been referenced as, right? So when we look at that and you do your net worth, then I want you to think about your net worth of where you at in terms of zero. Zero net worth is, hey, you don't owe anybody. You have assets more that outweigh your liabilities. The further away you are from the zero on the negative side, the more in tune you have to be to the Dave Ramsey principles. And the further away from zero you are on the positive side, the more you can lead into the Robert Kiyosaki principles. And that's just my spectrum of going, who's right? They're both right. It depends where you are in your financial journey. So I will tell you this right now, as you go through this season, if you are looking to change your financial acuity or net worth or just awareness or earnings or spendings, first we have to get real, get right, and look in the mirror and look in your balance sheet and going, how much are you spending? And we're going to reference that as our burn rate. How much are you spending every month? What's your burn rate? And this is your cost of living. If your cost of living includes getting your hair done and your nails and eating the nicest steaks and drinking the finest whiskeys, that's fine. That's your cost of living. That's okay. Just know that that's your burn rate. And every time we spend money, we're either investing it, giving it away, saving it, or spending it. And I think a lot of times spending is taking over everything. So look at your burn rate, look at what you're spending. Then we can focus on what does your income need to be. We can get rid of paying interest as quickly as possible through the snowball effect. And that's the journey. So that would be my tip for the day of going, look at your net worth, take a look at your burn rate, get aware, clarity of who you are financially. And then further to the negative side of zero you are, look at Dave Ramsey. The further to the positive side you are, look at Robert Kiyosaki. So it's been about 10 minutes now, 8 minutes. We're good there. If you have any questions or comments, drop them in here. Any books you want to reference, I've got a handful of books there, and that's just the start of it. I'd love to be a resource for you. In fact, I just joined the 2024 Associate Leadership Council, and specifically with the focus of wealth building and finance. The networking, the business of business networking that we're starting is group coaching other entrepreneurs not in real estate who I talk to and use on a regular basis for the real estate business. Yet I would love to be able to be a resource for you guys and for them as well, from other business owners of how to run a more profitable business with a more balanced life and more profit and more wealth. So if that's you and if you want to play in that arena, please hit me up. I'd love to invite you to the next one that we have. And earmark this, like this page. We've got it live streamed at a couple different servers. So wherever you're watching it, thanks for watching.